posting at the city administration building as shown by the certificate of posting notice. Notice this meeting was simultaneously given to the presidents and all members of council. Availability of the agenda was communicated in the advance notice in the notice to the president and council of this meeting. All proceedings hereafter will be taken while this convened meeting is open to the attendance of the public. This meeting is being convened in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the southeast corner of the council chambers. Any person wishing to address the council may do so by standing. We are recognized. Please go to the podium. Please sign the sign-in sheet located on the podium and state your name, the organization, interest, or person you represent before you begin speaking. Thank you. Roll call.
Block.
Here.
Dupierre. Absent. Kraski.
Here.
Laughlin.
Here.
Weddington.
Here. I'd move to give Austin an excuse.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Block and a second by Councilman Laughlin to excuse Councilman Dupierre. No discussion. Could the council please vote?
Four yes, one absent.
Motion carried. All right, under the consent agenda, we have the claims. We have the minutes of the regular meeting held December 9th, 2025. We have 2026 nuisance abatement program from West Central Nebraska Development District renewal of right-of-way contractor license for 2026 nuisance abatement program for West Central Nebraska Development District. We have renewal of right-of-way contractor license for Martin Doolittle. We have appointment to a board for the Ogallala Housing Authority for Jim Lemke, a 5-year term from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2030. We have appointment to board of the Historic Preservation Commission, Susan Shills, 3-year term from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2028. And appointment to the board to the Retired Senior Volunteer Program for Marcia Barnhill, 3-year term from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2028. And Laura Cartwright, 3-year term from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2028. We have appointment to a board to the Ogallala Tree Board. Molly Jeffries, 2-year term as an alternate from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2027. We have an appointment to the board of the Plan Commission, Darby Flansburgh, 3-year term, January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2028. We have appointment to the board, the library board, Brett Liebhart, lead a 4-year term from October 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2028. And we have airport memorandum of agreement with FAA contract number 697 DCM 26L00061.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Weddington, a second by Councilman Laughlin to approve the consent agenda. There's no discussion. Council, please vote.
Four yes, one absent.
Motion carried. All right, under public hearing, this is the second public hearing on CDBG 22 TD 002 for the Front Street project. It will open the public hearing at 7:04.
Mr. President, the city of Ogallala is holding public hearing concerning 2022-TD-002 Community Development Block Grant CDBG, which was awarded to the city by the Nebraska Department of Economic Development. These CDBG grants are available to local governments for community development activities. The second public hearing is required for each CDBG funded project to obtain citizen input, comments, or opinions with regard to the program. The total tourism development project costs in the grant application was estimated at $533,000, with the city of Ogallala awarded $400,000 in CDBG tourism development funds. $100,000 local match from SKB Services LLC, 25,000 general administration and $8,000 construction management. To date, the project has expended $288,160.25, which includes $204,114.33 in CDBG TD funds and $51,102.52 Front Street Business Cash and in-kind matching funds, along with $24,943.40 CDB General Administration and $8,000 construction management funds for administration of the grant. The Front Street removal of architectural barriers improvements included a new lift to the second floor, exterior boardwalk renovations, floor replacement, and restroom renovations. The project budget unexpended funds included $195,855 tourism development funds and $56.60 general administration funds. Any remaining tourism development funds will be canceled by the Department of Economic Development. All tourism development funds were utilized within the tourism development Front Street project area. The project will meet the national objective and remove architectural barriers. No people have been or will be displaced as a result of the CDBG activities.
So explain it to me again, that the tourism funds will not be used? The tourism development funds that have not been expended?
They remain with the state.
Okay. So we should be seeing a project closeout then
Yes,
soon
I think that's the purpose of the second hearing, is to close out.
with the funds not being expended on this project.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Just want to be clear on that. All right, is there anyone here who wishes to speak on this item, the public hearing? Any comments, questions from the council? If not, we'll leave this open. This will be an action item a little later
There is
on.
no action.
No action?
It's just a hearing.
So you can close the hearing.
There's
Okay,
nothing else to be said.
there's no further discussion by the public or the council. We'll close the hearing at 7:08. All right, moving on, public forum. Is there anyone in attendance that wish to discuss anything that is not on the agenda? Right, not, I see we have no report from the city clerk treasurer, so under recommendations of departments, boards and committees, under administration, council representative liaison appointments to Keep Keith County Beautiful and Western Resources Group. And it looks like Councilman Weddington has agreed to serve on these positions. Is that correct?
That's good.
All right.
I'll move to approve Councilman Darrell Weddington as the council representative / liaison to Keep Keith County Beautiful and Western Resources Group.
Second. Motion by Councilman Laughlin and a second by Councilman Block to appoint Councilman Weddington to Keep Keith County Beautiful and the Western Resource Group. If there is no discussion, could council please vote?
Or yes, one absent.
Motion carried. Okay. Under planning and zoning, the Ogallala multifamily apartment complex located at 602 Oregon Trail Drive.
Mr. President, this is on the agenda at the request of the council. Brandon and I were out there, a week ago?
Yes, sir.
They seem to have their tieback all buttoned up. They were starting to put on siding. There's a couple of guys putting on siding. That's anything else going on there right now?
They've got some of the siding on the north side, and it's going slow, but they are making progress.
What's the status interior? I mean, plumbing, electrical,
They're
drywall,
about done plumbing, but they have been for some time. So
any electrical going in,
the electrical's done.
drywall?
They need a plumbing inspection before they can hang drywall on the 4th floor.
Have they given you any date at all, any schedule?
They give us dates.
No, they have not.
Has it created a hazard? Are there any itinerants moving in there, homeless, anything going
No, they've
on?
got it secured pretty well.
Okay,
The door is, it's chained with a deadbolt lock on it, so it's pretty secure.
all right. Keep your foot on the gas on
I'm
these
trying.
guys.
But it's not working for me.
Keep trying. All right. Any questions, comments from council?
Just the only concern I have is with that building being exposed, for as long as it's being exposed. Them just minimizing mold. Or potential mold. Hopefully they're aware of that.
I would hope if that would show up, that would come up in an
Yeah,
inspection.
I would be more worried about the birds and the people matter from the birds, 'cause there's a lot of that in there.
Okay. You know, make them aware that we're gonna be watching that.
I think on that too, for the funding that was secured, isn't it? Also based, I think we'd have to look at the contract, isn't it based on like sound financials on their side, things like that?
LB 840.
Mhm. If they have any change in financial status, good status, so. Good business, things like that.
Like,
So
I could look at
typically
that again, but the last time I looked at their LB 840 agreement, it really didn't have any teeth in it that was gonna.
It'd be nice to find some leverage that we could use to get these guys moving. You know, maybe you and our city attorney could have a discussion on that. I don't know what we can do, but they,
We have had those discussions and it's pretty limited.
and it just keeps slowly progressing. And any other comments, questions? Thank you for bringing that up, Daryl. Right, under planning and zoning, a preliminary plat, Cleveland subdivision located in the southwest quarter of section 8, township 13 north, range 38 west of the 6th PM, Keith County, Nebraska.
Mr. President, this is a preliminary plat for the trailer court that was flooded out here 10 or so years ago. Mr. Cleveland has bought that, he wants to redevelop it. I think John Copeland can speak to the plat, he can speak to any engineering or survey questions that you might want to address.
Hello, I'm John Copeland with Dickinson Land Surveyors. Yeah, I prepared this preliminary plat. And I'm basically here to answer any questions that you got. Yeah, the one thing that's kind of interesting about this is the whole thing's below the floodplain, as you guys probably know. It's everywhere he builds, he's gonna, and if you read the notes, it gives you your BFE and you gotta go 1 foot above that. But the bottom line is, looking at the contours, it's like any building pad he's gonna build, it's about 3 foot is what he's gonna have to bring it up, so. And he's aware of that, and we've discussed that, but yeah, that's kind of the one difference of this subdivision. Other than that, it's kind of pretty straightforward, under 5 acres, so it gets past all the SWIP stuff and all that without getting too carried away. Yeah, if you have any questions, happy to answer them. The one thing he hasn't quite figured out, this is the preliminary, these lot widths, the minimum, he's talking about doing some duplex lots, and then some singles, and he hasn't quite narrowed in exactly the width he wants. 50 is the minimum for a standard lot. Cut that in half if you do the duplexes, but basically, if anything, they'll probably go bigger, but we'll address that on the final plat, was my thoughts, so.
Has he done any type of study on the drainage? How that's gonna impact that?
Yeah, so we did some topography. We haven't done a true drainage study, but basically, since it's under like 5 acres and he's not changing the existing flowways, the only thing he's gonna do is elevate those pads. But yeah, there's been no true drainage study, so to speak of yet.
But by the elevation of those pads, I mean, where's that water gonna go?
Yeah, it will go to the existing natural drainage channels, but you're correct. I mean, there's gonna be a bit of a volume difference.
But that lower area, because it's below the base flood elevation, that would hold water, not necessarily drain it. Now you're taking it up 3 foot, it's gonna move it off of there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a higher volume of water.
Yes.
Okay,
What about the street in front of it?
The street in front of it, he's not proposing to do anything with really besides, I mean, gravel it, just
So it'll be lower than that.
than the building pads,
Yeah.
but the building pads, yeah, I think he plans on kind of building towards the back. But and of course, we haven't got deep into any of the engineering, but the point being is he's trying to leave it alone as much as possible besides elevating the building pads. And we'll see what he has to do there, but. Yeah,
Will that create any problems with the street being?
I mean. Technically, everything you're raising up, you're getting a little bit of a volume differential there. But as long as, I mean, you might have to put a culvert in or something, but you're talking in the scheme of things, the volume of those little pads as opposed to the entire floodplain is minuscule. If you do like a bathtub analysis on it, it's gonna be pretty minor, but technically it will increase it some, so. And if you read those regulations, depends on how carried away you wanna get, but it shouldn't really impact the existing natural drainage out there. But to be safe, you might wanna throw a culvert somewhere, upsize it a little bit, that kind of thing. There's some culverts under the road originally. I haven't gone over there and taken too close of a look, but yeah, you might wanna put some kind of French drain in along the road or something like that, but. Still pretty preliminary right now. And I think he plans on replacing all the utilities. Originally, we went out there and shot them all because he wasn't sure if he was gonna reuse any of them. But it sounds like he's kind of had a couple of them scoped and it will be easier to go in new as opposed to all the existing shown on here. Of course, the mains aren't gonna change, but all these, taps and whatnot are probably gonna get replaced in the long run, so.
We want to share the podium or I need to wait?
No, feel free.
Brody Cleveland, 712 on the drive.
did you sign in? I hope you guys signed in. Yeah, you gotta do that now. That's a new state requirement, not ours, so.
One of four. Weird. But yeah, I had those sewer lines that were there and water lines scoped and there's runs through them. So it was like, I was like, if they're pristine, I might as well use them if they're there. And then as it worked out, that probably worked out best because then we were able to shift the lots around a little bit because we would have kind of been confined to where the water lines lie. So we'll put all that stuff in new. Now that we have this, power is my next big one I gotta get. Send off to them, but we had to have some of the maps done before they would look at it. It's obviously right there. And then one thing we talked, I'm planning on hauling some dirt in, but also potentially, like I said, kind of preliminary, but we move some of the dirt out of the back. I feel like that helps a little bit of that too, because it raises it there, but it gives it somewhere, that's just the yard in the back if we put some of that dirt forward too.
So would that be used then as a detention pond then, or just a lower area that you're not gonna build on?
No, yeah, it'd just be, they're kind of long and narrow. It'd essentially just be the backyard, but say worst case scenario, it's not flooding the house or anything like that.
Okay. So what do we get by approving a preliminary plat? I mean, it's not recorded.
Yeah, it basically just pushes the process forward so we can start the final. And then within a year of the preliminary, we have a year to push the final through. Basically, it just starts that clock.
Do you want to deal with my name? We'll change the name and we'll be Cleveland subdivision.
The preliminary gives them the permission to move forward with the final. So if anything, this allows us to give our input now as to what we feel should be on there, so. that-
We as a council,
Mhm.
okay, well, this, I haven't even seen the plat.
Was it not in the packet?
I didn't have it electronically. I just had a big piece of paper.
Okay, well,
I put everything in that you,
This one is up.
is that in there?
Yeah, it's in there.
Then yeah, it was.
I
That
thought
was a
so.
long time.
It is,
ago.
she
2 weeks
started.
ago.
We really have this.
I've got one full size copy. You got the Mylars too.
I do have a, well,
They're free to.
I don't have a Mylar. I just have a paper copy.
yeah, we didn't do Mylars on these because they don't get recorded. So she's got a paper.
copy.
It's kind of full without.
And I can tell you, I don't know that I'm prepared to take any action on this tonight, even on a preliminary. But yeah, I mean, I get this with the lot size and the location and the roads. I mean, they all meet the requirements of the code. The problem again, as we discussed before you came in, Brody, was the drainage and the amount of water that's gonna be coming off from this or displace. You know, you're gonna be adding 3 foot of dirt.
Yeah,
That 3 foot would have been holding water at some
Yeah.
point.
yeah.
Now, there's still the big drainage ditch out there in front, right? That goes down that whole thing. It goes all the way down past to the golf course and everything else.
Flows to the east,
It's close to the
flows to the east and then to the river.
Yeah, and there's a
There's a pretty good.
a
size.
natural retention pond kind of over on Davison's property. To the east, directly to the east.
You're talking the ditch on Road 85, East State.
Well, I mean, this would be back farther. This is like 200 feet into from the street.
Okay.
If not more, it might be more than that.
And I know during some of the digging into this before I bought it, because that was one of my first questions is. I'm too young to remember when that happened, but. Were there some things down the road from there that some stuff was burned up too, that wasn't supposed to be, that didn't help during that flood that's since been changed? as well?
Down there,
Well, down towards the golf course, I was thinking in conversations that somebody said there was some stuff that, got dammed up, that was taken.
I don't think I was here at that point in time, so I don't know.
I'm trying to remember who was talking to that.
I know, I do remember that was underwater.
Yeah.
In 2002,
2002.
yeah.
So based on elevation, maybe you can answer this too. So if we raise those, if the back paths get raised up. So the water, would that go towards the road, the main drainage ditches, or would it go further south back behind?
South,
Go south, so onto the field back behind?
yes. Which that kind of falls into what there's a natural kind of retention deal back there.
So whose property is that?
It's over on Davison's property. Steve, I think is his name.
They okay pushing that water over there?
That's
That would be the next step prior to the.
there.
To the final.
There's no structures there. I mean, they have a building, but it's farther to the north. Where the way the water would go, and it would take a topography to be able to tell that the way it appears to me, the way the water would go would be south of their building there and into that retention area. But again, I'm not an engineer and I don't have a topography graph in front of me, so I can't say for sure.
Well, yeah, what I can say on that is, I mean, technically, whatever volume you put in the floodplain, you're displacing that much, but. It's minuscule when you run an
Yes.
actual bathtub analysis on how giant that floodplain is.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you're technically increasing it, but it's basically you do like a zero rise analysis is what it's called. And the actual rise in that floodplain is gonna be very minimal. Now, yeah, you don't wanna grade it, so everything's going into the neighbor's yard and causing chaos and washing out. You might have to, you know, just drain it, so like you're saying, it goes to the ditches and make sure that that flow isn't gonna overrun the existing infrastructure. Like, yeah, maybe you gotta upsize the culvert. It's hard to say without kind of doing a couple calculations and all that, but yeah, the preliminary, it's, you know, normally it's nice to kind of get that going, and then on the final, address those, you know, more pressing concerns or answer those final questions that you'd like answered.
Well, you know, as a preliminary plat, I can understand, you know, we're looking at this two-dimensionally now and where the lots are laying out.
Yes.
When we get close to that final plat, I mean, I think we need to see, you know, some type of hydrologic study, drainage study. And what, you know, you say minuscule, well, what is it? I mean, is that a foot of water on somebody's property or 6 inches or?
We're literally probably talking like less than 100th of a foot.
Then I think, you know, if we can get those calcs from you, you know, I think that we need to have that reviewed by, you know, an independent teacher, just, TC to confirm that.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to do anything that's gonna damage anybody else's property. I mean, we've seen that a few times already, in this, so.
And you could also go to the landowner too, ask them and say, hey, here's what we're kind of looking at, here's what we're expecting for water runoff. And if they're good with that, me, I'm good with that. I mean, they're the landowner, if they want more water on their property.
It isn't a pasture grass meadow.
Yeah,
The house on the corner there is out of the floodplain, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
When Copeland's house,
I'm not sure.
I think he's out of the floodplain. But I think that the one that's actually in the middle there, I think that's Davison's house. I think his is in. the flood. So,
I didn't really look at neighbors, I just looked at Brogies.
so in all honesty, by these structures, the floodplain will get wider, but it's not gonna get that much wider is what you're saying. Cause you're dispersing it out.
Well, the total volume increases over the existing surface area, so technically that you get a height raise of. When you've got an area that big, it's, you know, literally less than 100th of a foot is what I'm gonna guess without running calcs, but yeah, I mean, technically. There is some incremental rise for every bit of water you displace, that's just.
Will it increase someone else's flood plain?
No. The BFE doesn't change. From that, it's,
It won't change the maps.
yeah.
correct. So it won't put somebody that's not in a floodplain in a floodplain.
Even if it's putting more water on it?
I think those current houses are old enough, they're built in the floodplain.
Till they redo
Well,
maps next time.
Still people can hear the redoes.
Redoes maps.
Davison sits in the
Yeah,
middle there.
and, but it
And
will,
his is. in the
when the
floodplain.
water, when it increases, it is gonna change the maps eventually.
Moving up, fall, yeah.
And you're not planning on putting basements on any of.
And I guess that's maybe another thing we could look at is pulling more of that, because they're long and narrow, is pulling some of that dirt out where it's really no. You're gonna have maybe a little that runs off the front, I guess it's spitball here, but. If you pull it out in the backyard, you're essentially going like this. And
Yeah,
forbidden the 100-year flood comes, it's in the lawn before it dries out.
Yeah.
So the houses are in somebody else's yard. But, or somebody else's house.
Hopefully, we don't have another 1 in
Let's hope.
500 or 1 in 1,000 year flood like,
Yeah.
what was it, Jeff? 1 in 500, 1 in 1,000 year,
Yeah,
1 in 500.
500?
see, there's no way to win that one, cause
There
everything
is no way to
is
win that
1 in
one.
100. It's 100-year return period is the max stuff you design anything for.
Yep.
500, you're just game over, man.
Eat it. So really, what I would probably do personally is just go talk to the neighbors and just, hey, you know, say, hey, here's what we're looking at with preliminary water. Keep their temperature on it, if they're just like, I don't care. Then if they can fill out something, come to a committee meeting too, that would help saying, hey, I don't care that there's water in my property, I understand it may change some stuff later, I'm good with it.
Okay.
Too.
No, that's good.
Any other questions, comments from council?
Yeah, I guess I noticed from the planning commission, I guess there was an error on the Nebraska Department. of, Resource map, has that been addressed?
Yeah, so I noticed that looking at the floodplain map, the BFE. Basically, if you take the BFE at its face value, half of Brody's property is, like I said, about 2 feet. Well, yeah, 2 feet below the BFE, but then the other half is 998 feet above it. There's an error on the map, which I can pass around. Where basically you can tell it's just a typo because within like 100-foot period distance, they changed from the BFE being 2,314 foot to 3,212 foot. So they had a typo of 1,000 foot. And it was pretty obvious that just physics wise, that's impossible. And that it was supposed to be a 3,000 or a 2,000. Wait, sorry. Yeah. Everything should be in the 3,000s. And so basically that's what I took into account calculating these, but I can't change these maps, you know, and Brandon is
I
the
did reach
floodplain
out to the state.
administrator.
I did reach out to them on that. They feel that it's an error, but they don't have anybody in this area, won't be in this area for a while to actually physically check it out. So at this current moment, we don't know for sure. The state doesn't know for sure, but they do feel that it is an error. So,
That'd be an interesting drop. right
yeah,
there, wouldn't it?
yeah, we're talking 1,000 feet and I'm like, there is no,
We wouldn't be having this.
yeah, there's no canyon there by any
We
means.
got
So,
Kane and Ski Resorts.
Well, yeah, I mean, if that's correct, then Brody is 998 feet out of the floodplain on half his property.
We got a lot of soil you can fill with.
So-
I mean, I get it's an error,
Yeah,
but I guess,
it needs to get corrected,
Yes,
one
correct.
way or the other, because that's the dictating document that I have.
So what I'm hearing from the council is you like the concerns of drainage, how it's gonna impact surrounding properties with that, you know, the runoff, and the errors in the data.
there are
that
the
we're
state's
using.
maps.
So, you know, I guess I'm okay with a preliminary plat. We know that we're not gonna get it recorded, but you got a long way to go yet.
Yep.
And, you know, I think when you come back to the planning commission, you should probably take, you know, your drainage study, you know, what you're planning on doing with that and how it's gonna impact the surrounding properties. And then confirmation, as Councilman Laplin said, from those property owners that, you know, they don't care you're gonna put water on them, but I don't know that that's gonna be anything recorded on the property. So, you know, that's all good and well for that property owner, but when they sell it, then some guy comes in and says, hey, Brody Cleveland's dumping water on my property. So it's probably not a good plan to move it to somebody else's property.
I feel most of it can get mitigated out just without dumping it on someone's property, like you're saying. I mean, that might, like, some people say that might be the easy way out, but there's probably something pretty simple you can do to make that not be the case.
You may need to cut in more drainage ditches or, you know, storm system in it too, you know, if you're putting in 3 foot of fill.
If we come back and the study's like a quarter or a half an inch total, is that gonna be a problem or is that minuscule?
We'd leave that up to our engineers.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's where I was like, where's that gonna come down to? 'Cause they might be able to say, hey, that's not enough, or it's gonna change anything.
If it's going off your property and somebody else's, that's a problem. You need to keep it all on yours. Or put it into a drainage system somewhere. So is a 1/4 inch a problem? Or is it 1/2 inch or an inch?
Yeah,
Where does it go? So.
I think we do. I don't
Comments, questions from the council?
see.
So I will, since it's preliminary, I'll move to approve the preliminary plat of the Cleveland subdivision located in the southwest quarter of section 8, township 13 north, range 38 west, at 6 p.m. in Keith County, Nebraska.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Laughlin and a second by Councilman Block to approve. And I want to stress the preliminary plat. The Cleveland subdivision. There's no further discussion. Council, please vote. There you go.
Four yes, one absent.
Motion carried. All right, moving on, report of city attorney.
I do.
Okay, report city manager.
Pretty quiet month. I met with our airport engineers. Airport project will go out to bid. Fall 2026, construction 2027.
Okay. Report of council members, I have no update on the Board of Health or on the Community Hospital and Health Foundation. They have not met. Councilman Laughlin,
Same thing, due to holidays, everything's been pushed to January.
Councilman Block.
I have nothing to report also, but the Chamber of Commerce on January 26th at Fairgrounds, they're having the Ag Appreciation Banquet. And I was wanting to maybe get a show of hands who might want to attend that.
I will-
26th.
The 26th, it starts at 5:30
I'd love to attend it. I think I may be out of town, but
Say, of January,
of January.
I would be a maybe. It depends on an automated not required for the kid, depending on if they make it in there.
We will need to RSVP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if we have 3, then we have to post it.
I will let you know after I talk to my calendar.
Okay. I plan on attending, so with 2
Okay.
more.
yeah, I will let you know.
I should know before, I think they do tryouts here within the next week or two, so I'll definitely know.
hurdles, man, it's a million hurdles.
If we miss that window, then I'll just stand outside and look through.
Okay.
But I would like to attend if I can.
I messed up the last time and didn't get it.
All right, if there are no further reports or comments from council, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
I'll certainly.
Motion by Councilman Block, second by Councilman Weddington to adjourn. Council, please vote.
We point this towards the receiver.
Right here.
Oh.
Four yes, one absent.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.